Hello, welcome everybody. Hi, friends. Hello, and a special welcome to our brand new author, E.C. Sherman. Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm excellent, and I'm so excited that we get to launch your book today. Would you show everybody the book and tell them the title?
I will. Um, Proudly, it's this is the cover of the book. It's called Zeus and Ziggy First Friends.
I love that. I love that. So exciting. I had so much fun reading the book. Can you tell us what inspired you to write this book?
Sure. I've wanted to write a children's book for a very long time, years. It's been kind of a distant, thought and dream, but really never had the time. And in the last year to 18 months, I really started to think more seriously about it. So initially, I was starting to sort of research publishers and publishing models. And at that time, probably last February, March, I had a realization that my my only granddaughter, was leaving to move to Germany in July with her
Mhm.
parents, of course, my son and daughter-in-law. And it kind of hit me that she would now be moving from Maryland to Germany, and that would be they would be relocating there for at least 3 years. So I started to grieve a little bit about that in terms of losing her, because it was nothing to get on a flight from, Wisconsin to Maryland to go see her and spend birthdays with her and holidays. And I went out and helped with her when my son had surgery. But this was going to be a very different situation. It's not as easy to get to Germany. And I can't go as often, obviously. So I started to think about starting to think seriously about, you know, how can I do this to really begin a legacy, I think, for her,
Yes.
to kind of start to close that gap of space and time that seems so huge to me. And so I started to think really a lot about how to make this more real and concrete. And so I knew that she was going to be I wanted her to be a main character in the book. So she is Ziggy, and
Yes.
and I also wanted my beloved horse Zeus to be the other character in the book. And at the time in Maryland, you know, my granddaughter was taking riding lessons. She had just started, and so I thought it was great timing. And so I found your publishing team and company and signed on, and the rest is history. So that's kind of how Zeus and Ziggy First Friends, was
I
born.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. How beautiful, leaving a legacy, starting to leave a legacy for your granddaughter. So, tell everybody what the book is about and who would you say it's for?
So the book is geared to sort of 5 to 8 year olds, but I think that the book can be enjoyed by the parents as well. I
Mhm.
think anyone that has a love of horses, and especially the Friesian breed, and anyone that wants to sort of learn good horsemanship, I think the book is geared to, but it's mainly geared to, 5 to 8 year olds. So it's about a 6-year-old little girl, Ziggy, who has a tremendous amount of energy. And Ziggy now is embarking on having her first horse come, who arrives at Soft Whisper Farm. And she's now being introduced to this new large black horse. And of course, she's got boundless energy, and she really wants to just hurry up, meet him, put his saddle and bridle on, and get on and start riding. But fortunately, she has the guidance of a great teacher trainer, Miss Rita, who is able to sort of slow her down a little bit, which
Mhm.
is a little bit frustrating for Ziggy, because she wants to just get on and go. But there are many, many things to learn about the horse and about the breed and about horsemanship on the ground before you even put your foot in the stirrup and swing your leg over into the saddle. So, Ziggy finds this a little bit frustrating, but she kind of, under Miss Rita's guidance, is able to sort of stop and think. And that's one of the issues in the book, is that she has to think so much about what to do, and what not to do. But it's really sort of, I think, a tribute to young riders who are first starting out and learning, but it's also a tribute to the Friesian breed as a breed, because this breed is incredibly intuitive. They're patient, they're very kind, they're they're very smart, and they're very calm, which is often why you see the Friesian breed cast in film a lot.
Mhm.
And they embody that quality that many horse people refer to as heart. And so Ziggy has to now take her time, and they have to develop a partnership and really begin to trust each other before she can even think about getting into the saddle. So that's what the book is really about.
I learned so much from reading this book. I did, and I can see how children are going to really, really enjoy it, enjoy that dynamic. Would you tell us a little bit more about what you hope parents and kids will take away from the book? What are some of the little lessons in there?
So it's really my hope that parents and kids will understand that riding or taking riding lessons um, really begins on the ground first.
Mm,
As I mentioned before, it's critical for horse and human, I think, to develop a very trusting relationship with each other right from the get-go. And it takes time to do that. So it can't really be rushed. So sometimes the process seems very slow, especially to children. Um, and Ziggy does a great job, I think, in the book, exhibiting all of her emotions and feelings and frustrations, and also her happiness, with
mhm,
her accomplishments. And so I think also what I'm hoping is that the book begins to educate young riders and their parents about the Friesian breed. The breed is magical. I've had a lot of really incredible horses over my adult lifetime. I mean, they've all been special, but there is something very unique about this breed, and it's hard for me to even articulate it. And I'm with him a lot, so it's really my hope that parents and kids are inspired, I think, to learn more, and to actually begin to develop a love and understanding, not only for the Frisian breed, but about the sport of
mhm.
horsemanship and riding in a very safe and compassionate and correct manner.
Mm. So beautiful. I'm so glad you wrote the book. I learned patience just even reading the book. I felt her. I felt this little girl, and how she just wanted to get on the horse and then had to. And I think let's give a shout out to your illustrator. Like
Oh,
just so real. Look at that. How
I know.
beautiful.
I know. I cannot thank this illustrator enough, honestly. I mean, I really can't. He's not a horse person. So he was very, very patient, really patient with looking at images, pictures I'd send him of Zeus, looking at stock photos. I sent him a bunch of images of my granddaughter, and he did just an incredible job of capturing the both of them. So much
Mhm.
so that I'm really hoping he stays with me to work
Yes.
with me again. So
Yes. Let's give him a shout out. The illustrator's name is Vic McLindon.
yes, Vic
Beautiful.
McLindon, and he's in from the UK, so he's thousands of miles away, but we made it work, and
Yeah,
he nailed it. He really did. I mean,
he did.
so much so that her parents were amazed at how realistic, Ziggy in the book looked compared to my
Yes.
granddaughter. And Zeus, he just did a magnificent job with. So
Mhm. I would love to know, what did your granddaughter think? Has she seen the book, the illustrations? I know she's in Germany.
yeah.
What does she think through the process?
Well, she actually has been part of this process since the inception of it. She saw the manuscript, she saw the preliminary sketches, um, she saw the beginning illustrations when they were just sort of being formed. She has seen the final illustrations, and she's seen the cover. And I'm ordering books to send out there, very
Mhm.
shortly. So yeah, she's been part of it along the way. So it actually achieved what I was hoping it would, and that was to start to close that space and time a little bit. between us.
So beautiful. So beautiful. What a beautiful experience to share with her. I'd like to ask you about your journey into becoming now a children's book author. What would you say was the biggest challenge for you in the writing process?
I've thought a lot about this because I had several challenges along the way, because writing a children's book was never, I'm writing like that is not in my wheelhouse. I mean, I had done a lot of academic writing for years, but never wrote a children's book. So this was a whole different ballgame for me. But I think my biggest challenge, I'd like to say that keeping the word count where it should be, or keeping it to 32 pages, where it should be for this age group. But my biggest challenge was clearly kind of conveying to Vic McLindon, the illustrator, how to do Zeus's mustache. Okay, because Zeus has a mustache. In fact, sometimes it looks very much like a handlebar mustache. So, and trying to convey this through sending Vic stock photos of other kind of Baroque style horses that have the hair on the lip, and real photos of Zeus as I was bending down trying to catch a photo of his muzzle. He just couldn't believe that this actually
Right.
happened with horses. But he really got it. He nailed it. And I mean, I was thrilled with what the final outcome was for Zeus's very special mustache. And I think Zeus was pretty happy about it too. So
Yeah. Oh, that's so interesting.
yeah.
And I mean, something I learned too. I had to go back and reread that a horse with a mustache.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
mean, it's a way for them to sort of manage their environment. They're pretty careful about, I think,
Yeah.
kind of, when we put food in front of them, the mustache will flicker and sort of, it is part of his personality. So I
Right.
had to get that in there somehow.
Yes. Yes. So what would you say now was the biggest lesson for you during the publishing process?
So, oh boy, there were lots of lessons. I'm still learning lessons like daily. But I think I had sort of a couple of different big lessons. One was to really trust the process. I mean, I
Mm.
think I know I chose well in your publishing team and Miriam Laundrie, publishing. And I chose after doing research, but then I just had to let go and trust the process implicitly. And so I learned that, and that's not easy. That's not
Mhm.
easy to do that, to give up that kind of control. But I trusted the process, and it was incredible. I think the next lesson I learned was really, again, choosing carefully and wisely who you're going to work with as an illustrator.
Mhm.
I was really nervous initially about working with an illustrator that was so far away in the UK, thousands of miles away. But frankly, we were able to communicate well. We stayed in touch with each other. He was terrific. He kept at it. I mean, I think we had fun doing it. We laughed doing it. And he really did an incredible job. I mean, he brought that book to life, honestly,
Mhm.
through the
Yes.
illustrations. And so,
I
um,
think that's a great lesson.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the third big lesson was the realization that I didn't do this alone. I mean, it really does take a village to do this. From all the support from the publishing team to my author coach, to family, friends, and colleagues, to my book the website designer and the book trailer designer, the organizations that spend every single day caring and being committed to the Friesian breed, who are supporting this
Mhm.
book. Um, and my barn family, my family that takes care of Zeus on a daily basis. Um, and I think my granddaughter and Zeus. I mean, I think that entire village had a hand in bringing this dream to sort of an end.
Hmm. How beautiful. How beautiful. I love that you named everybody because I can see now the support that you're getting. There's a lot of people here leaving you messages. Take some time after and definitely read them. People that are proud of you. You've brought this to life. So now here you sit as a children's book author holding your book in your hands. What would you say is the best part of accomplishing this dream?
I think knowing that I actually did it, um, that I actually was able to persevere and do it, um,
Mhm.
especially with the help of everyone that I just mentioned. Um, I think seeing the cover of this book on Amazon is just very surreal. I mean, I don't know if it'll ever stop being surreal for me, frankly. But and I also think, uh, really, I think being able, like I said, to close that gap, that what seemed like a cavernous space of time and space between my granddaughter and I. So
Mm,
I think those were, that was the best part. Those were the best parts of
yeah.
accomplishing this. And really being able to finally say that I am actually a published children's book author.
Yes, you are. Whoa.
So, yeah.
That's so great. I think this is a great time to tell our audience, people watching, the book is available on Amazon. Go grab a copy, several copies. I always think when there's a book that you like or a book this good, several copies will do because there are schools in your neighborhood. There are teachers, libraries where you can go and donate a book. So the book is in soft cover. I've got the soft cover. It's in hardcover also and ebook
Mhm,
format.
mhm.
Mhm. So now that you are a children's book author, what piece of advice do you have for an aspiring author who may be watching?
Um, I'd say doing your research and finding a publishing model that seems to really resonate with you and is gonna fit with you, because there's so much out there to sort of wade through. So I think that's really critical. Then
Mhm.
trusting the process, like I said before,
Mm.
but sort of doing that upfront. I think, staying in the moment, wherever that moment may be in the process, and not getting too far ahead, thinking too far ahead, or maybe lagging too far behind, and not getting discouraged and not giving up. There's no giving up. I think listening to everyone who is helping you and there to support you, the professionals that are there to support you along the way. And I think the biggest issue is sort of getting comfortable with being out of your comfort zone and knowing that you're going to stay out of your comfort zone for a considerable period of time. So
Yes.
I think, those are all things that I faced when I started this process. So I think those are the things that I would say to aspiring authors. And
Perfect. I
not
hope
giving up, like not thinking that you can't do it or there's no one out there that's going to help you. There is.
Mhm,
It's a matter of finding that right fit. So
mhm. I hope our viewers are taking notes because that was a lot of great advice for our aspiring authors. So where can our viewers find you besides going to Amazon and purchasing the book? Do you have a website or where can they find you?
so I do have a website. It's www.ecshermanauthor.com. And there is a link on that website where you can also buy the book. Um, uh, and Yeah, I mean, I think Amazon in Canada. So yeah.
Excellent. Make sure, friends, go grab a copy of Zeus and Ziggy. You're going to love this book. Before we go, is there anything you wish I would have asked you? Anything else that you want to share?
I again cannot thank my village enough for, over this last year, continuing to kind of stand with me and support me in this. It was amazing, the number of people in this community that came together, and I'm talking about a broad community that came
Mhm.
together, to really be excited, about this book. I also wanted to let people know that the proceeds today for the sale of this book will go to, a very important organization for the care, and research and care of, the Friesian breed, and that's the Fenway Foundation for Friesian Horses. Tomorrow is sort of, the proceeds from the book. On the 10th will go to Friesian Horse Association of North America, another very important organization that represents the Friesian breed. And then on the 11th, um, which is Saturday, the all of the proceeds that day will go to the Ascension healthcare system. It will specifically go to cancer care across the state of Wisconsin. So
Mhm. So generous, great reasons to go get the book today. In the next couple of days, you will be supporting amazing causes also. EC, I'm so proud of you. Thank you for writing such a wonderful book. I hope that you get to, well, I know that you have closed that gap with your granddaughter, but I can only imagine how proud she'll be and how excited she'll be when she gets to hold the book in her hands also,
Oh,
all
yeah.
the way in Germany.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Friends, thank you all for being here. We'll say bye right now and see you very, very soon. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day, EC. Bye-bye.
Bye.